It's 10 a.m. in Kodiak Country.
Make some noise!
Time for Hotline on 98.7 KVOK.
And it's Wednesday, just like that, halfway to the weekend. Good morning, Neil.
Good morning, Chuck.
Hey, I'd like to talk about another thing we should all be paying attention to today, Chuck.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
And you know what? I was a little bit disturbed on the way to work today because there was this poor dog that was stranded about 60 feet up the cliff. And there were people down below trying to figure out how to get this dog down. So I called KPD so they could send animal control. But after that, hopefully the dog got saved.
Yeah, me too. I love dogs. But here's what I'm calling in about today. When you want to talk about foolishness and people that don't like to settle.
Yeah.
If there's any doubt if I've completely shredded the reputations and the careers of these people that I'm going after, people haven't been paying attention. But what my concerns is today I'd like to talk about the two-tier justice system that we are all now living in Kodiak, which is most certainly adversely affecting the citizens of Kodiak.
I mean, it's sort of this all over the country, though, isn't it? Because if I did what Donald Trump has done in the New York trial, you and I would be behind bars. He's not. Why is that? Two tiers. Two-tier justice.
Chuck, if you and I did what the City of Kodiak officials did, you and I would also be behind bars. The same exact people that stole hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment from my boat and then sunk it are now the exact people, Chuck, that's been caught red-handed stealing millions of dollars of COVID Relief CARES Act money from the citizens of Kodiak.
I saw your post.
How quiet they are?
I saw your post about this, and I went and looked. Wait, hold on. So there's a total page, and I think I saved the bookmark because I wanted to go back to this. There's a page where you can see who took PPP money, and you just type the name in, and it's really easy to look up who took PPP money. And I think you made the accusation that here it is. Search every company approved for federal loans. PPP borrowers search. So you claimed on your post that Tim Putney took PPP money illegally, right?
No, I didn't. No, PPP money is completely different from the COVID CARES Act emergency relief fund. PPP is for the businesses that claimed that they needed this money so that they could pay their employees. This is a whole different. It's like comparing apples to oranges. What I'm exposing is where the $12 million went that the mayor and the city manager had access to, and then they violated the contract at least 10, 12 different times. I mean, those should be 12 different, 12 different levels of indictments. But the last I checked, Chuck, these people don't have immunity for their corruption. The federal agents, Alaska State Troopers, Kodiak Police Department, and Kodiak politicians don't have immunity for taking public money and just flat out stealing it, misappropriating the funds, laundering the money through the Kodiak Police Department, paying some of their city council members up to $1 million to distribute the money in a newly formed corporation that was only 18 days old, and then immediately paying themselves almost $40,000 in administrative fees. Chuck, this is outrageous. And I'm blowing the horn, I'm blowing the whistle, and now is the people's chance to get rid of this corruption. And what I'm calling in today is everyone that has had enough of this crap needs to do something about it. I can't do anything about it by myself. I'm just one guy.
Right.
And I know a lot of guys don't, and people don't want to.
So what do you think people should do? I mean, these are allegations that I can't prove what you're saying is true or false.
Buddy. They're not allegations. Hold on a second. Let's get back on track here. These aren't allegations. I've got the COVID contract, and I've got over 200 pages of documents. They're not my documents, Chuck.
Right.
They're the city's documents. So
what do you do with them?
Past the allegations, I've got the evidence, and here's what we can do about it. Okay, we can call Lane Tucker at the U.S. Department of Justice. at the Department of Justice. They also call themselves the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Mm-hmm.
Her phone number is 907-271-5071. And I've also posted the contact information on my last document dump on the Sinking of the Wild Alaskan Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And all of you citizens need to call. You don't have to give your name, but they have to do something about it. When the citizens start getting involved, and just tell Miss Tucker or leave a message for Miss Lane Tucker, you know what? Enough is enough. We've had enough of this fraud in Kodiak. Byler has produced more evidence than most federal agents have in the first place to conduct investigations and start indicting people. We want you to do your job, Miss Tucker. We want indictments. Do what you
So you brought this up to her?
Oh, well, here's why I'm calling, Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Tucker won't return my phone call because...
Why do you think that is?
Well, can I explain to you?
You can.
Lane Tucker's office is using your tax dollars, along with all of your other listeners' tax dollars, to defend corrupt federal Coast Guard agent Aaron W. Woods in my federal lawsuit against him. Why is she going to help me? That would just embolden me and help me in my lawsuit. Why is our DOJ in the first place defends with taxpayer money rogue federal agents in the first place? They should have to get their own attorney from
What year was that?
From the Department of Justice.
What year did this happen?
Which year did what happen?
Your allegations against the Coast Guard.
The Coast Guard is 2015 fraud, where they had to tamper with evidence to win that phony poopy trial against me.
But then the cover up. You're saying the cover up happened in what? 17, 18, 19?
No, the cover up happened in 2015 when the agent deleted photos of my trash pump from the Coolpix camera from my boat raid, and it never made it to his computer. And then the way they won the case against me, Chuck, is they claimed I didn't even own the trash pump in 2014 during my entertainment charter, and they hid the receipt from it from the jury. The whole thing was kabuki theater, and now they've been caught. And I've been after these people for 10 years now to produce that forensic evidence. And in every step in our criminal justice system, I call it our criminal injustice system, in Anchorage, they've kept the evidence from me, and now they can't do it in the civil case. That's why any day now when we hear from Federal Judge Wieslein, and he allows us to have discovery power, I'm going to say, hey, I want the camera card. And you know what Agent Woods is going to say? He's going to say, well, you know, we don't have it. The Kodiak drug-sniffing dog must have ate it back in 2015. And Judge Wieslein is going to say, looking at Byler's documents for the last 9 years to everybody on the planet, including the FBI and CJIS headquarters and the Department of Justice, Byler said you were going to say that. And then that's when the case is all over with, Chuck.
Yeah, and I've asked you before, I don't know to what end. I'm trying to figure out, like, it sounds to me like you've got a case, and there's probably a settlement offer coming.
Well, of course there is, if they're smart, but this has become personal with the Coast Guard, and this has become personal with city officials for sinking my boat. Chuck, they sunk a documented vessel without authority with a first preferred marine mortgage. You can't do that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I agree with you, and there should be some answers here, and I'm surprised that the court system, justice moves slow, man. You know that part. But what I mean is they're probably, one thing the city is not good at, winning cases. They're terrible at it. So there's got to be some offer.
On this one.
There's got to be some offer on the table. Has there been an offer on the table?
There's not been an offer on the table because, think about it, they're going to fight me all the way to court, and that's fine with me because, quite frankly, Chuck, when the jury sees the level of fraud committed against me, they're going to be on the hook for millions in punishment. It's called punitive awards. And in Alaska, when you commit fraud against an Alaskan citizen and you sink a United States documented vessel, you get punitive damages for that. And there's unlimited. But here's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to hold the citizens of Kodiak on the hook for their punitive damages. You think the mayor is going to give up her fat homes all over the place that she's obtained while being the mayor? Of course not. That's why everyone needs to watch these criminals closely. That's why that you do not need to give them an inch on the millions that they stole from you. And whether you like my entertainment or not, you should be supporting me because, quite frankly, I'm not going to get a bunch of money and buy another boat and ever come back to Kodiak ever again in my natural-born life and start a entertainment bar. I'm done with that.
Well, I would argue that you weren't in Kodiak to do it to begin with. That would be my argument. You were offshore. I would say that you weren't in Kodiak to begin with. You were offshore, correct?
I was involved in an illegal Coast Guard charter that I had every right in the world to be conducting. I had all the permits. I was paying city taxes. But these people could not leave me alone.
Yeah.
They came out. They did their undercover investigations. They couldn't find. They tried to solicit every type of crime in the world. And that never happened. And then people still, like that Jeffrey George on Facebook, has the nerve to say, well, we think that there was prostitution. You know, every other place I've ever been to. Well, not my place, Mr. George. Those type of characters still take shots at me, even though the city, the Fed spent over $1.2 million on Darren Byler, and they didn't find nothing. So they had to settle with a phony sewage case. And there's your story. There's your story.
Well,
there's nothing illegal going on at my place.
Let us know, because I really think that just the city needs to cut bait on this, and I don't know what that means, or if you'll even take an offer. Because it sounds to me like you just want to go to court, and that's expensive, man. Costs money.
It's not expensive for me. I have one of the top 100 trial attorneys in the whole country representing me for free. In fact, he moved from Atlanta, Georgia to Alaska just to represent me in my two cases. So what's that tell you?
Yeah. No, I think there's a settlement coming.
Chuck, I appreciate all the time you've given me once again. I'm going to leave you with this. If you people want to get rid of these city gang members that are stealing in broad daylight, they're stealing from you. You need to call the Department of Justice and demand indictments and just tell them. They already know the evidence. They've seen my Facebook page. It's out there for everyone to see. You can't argue with my documents. It's not like I just have allegations and I'm making this up. I'm using the COVID contract and showing you at least 12 different counts of fraud. And these people remain quiet. Chuck, where's the Kodiak Daily Mirror? Where are they? This is the biggest story. They want to report on the $300,000 a year that Twangy tried to pull over the eyes of the citizens. But where's the millions of dollars that they've already stolen from the citizens? Why aren't they doing interviews in the Kodiak Daily Mirror and saying, you know what, Byler's full of crap?
The COVID money specifically is very specific. We've talked about it here on the air. It had to be spent in a very specific way, or the money had to be returned. And it's very auditable. Is that a word? You can audit it very easy.
It should be audited right now by federal agents. You're correct.
And so if that's true, I'm sure that someone somewhere is going to do an audit. They're doing them nationwide, all over the place. Every day we hear of a new, whoops, we messed this up story.
Well, I've got a video on my thinking page just under document dump number 57. Lane Tucker of the Department of Justice bragging about going after, white-collar crime and, we're aggressive on this COVID. But, of course, they won't return my phone call because they know that my complaints are against law enforcement and Kodiak City politicians. Now, they should have the same appetite to be going after these people like Tim Putney for allowing $4 million of COVID money to be laundered through the Kodiak Police Department. And I don't know if you understand this part, Chuck, or the people understand this part. They used $4 million of COVID money to pay for a whole year of the expenses of the Kodiak Police Department. So that left them...
I don't know if that's illegal.
Oh, you want to...
I'm not sure it is.
Hang on. it is illegal because in the contract it clearly says that you cannot use COVID money to pay for anything that's already budgeted into the city's budget. Do you not think the Kodiak Police Department annual budget with salaries is part of the annual budgeting? Of course it is. So what they did, Chuck, and this is really, they thought they could get away with it, but now they've been caught. They had $4 million in cash left over that they didn't use for the police department because they used the COVID money, right? So then they paid themselves $500,000 out of that $4 million, patted themselves on the back with unsuspecting, innocent city employees that have nothing to do with this, and then now there's $3.5 million still missing. You tell me if that's straight up. Not even my documents know where the $3.5 million went. So that's what we need to get to the bottom of. They need to make public statements. They need to have a federal raid. And the federal OIG agent that I put his card on my Facebook page, he needs to be, encouraged to do his job also, and refer this fraud to Lane Tucker at the Department of Justice. And if everybody does their job, these people are going down. The only way they're not going down is if the citizens of Kodiak stay sleepy on this issue and not get involved and let them get away with it. I'm only one man. I can only do so much, but I've delivered this to everyone on a silver platter. Here you go. Here's the documents. I want something done about it. And that's pretty much all I've got to say, Chuck.
I appreciate the call.
The time.
Let us know when you have an update.
I will. Thank you. Have a great day.
We'll see you later. 486-6011, 800-560 KVOK. Look, there's a lot thrown out there. And then, the Coast Guard, for sure, keeps meticulous documents. They have to. They'll get in trouble, real trouble.
Yeah.
So I can't here say that all of that is true. I can't say that it's false either. But I'm going to give Darren the platform for him to speak his mind. But just so you know, I would like to see the proof come up if those allegations are true. For sure, something should happen.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that the sinking of his boat was completely legit, the way it went down. And my boat slip is where they would offload and get back and go out to where he was moored. And the police were always there monitoring. And I felt like there was a little level of harassment going on. I'm like, really? Is this really that big a deal? Let's slow down.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're providing a business that people want to go to legitimately, you can't be mad at the business model. You can't be mad at that. And before everybody gets on their high horse about how, this is just inappropriate, I've heard some crazy stories from the crab days where, the people that were making those allegations were all younger, going to all those places. So, sometimes I think the moral authority gets the better of our city officials in any city, not just this one.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, remember when you were younger? Let's not get crazy. If someone's providing a service that somebody wants to pay for, and there's a legitimate business model there, why are we judgmental because we don't want to be in that business? I never went to the boat. I didn't want to go. It didn't feel to me like I wanted to go out and be trapped on a boat.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'd rather just go hang out at Tony's or the Village or the Mecca. That was me. But I'm not mad at somebody for doing the business they were doing. Is there more to it? Maybe there is. They should get to the bottom of it. And Darren, you can stick with the case as long as you want. As long as the money's still there to go with the case.
Yep.
This is America. You can sue for anything. You farted near me. We're going to court. 486-6011, 800-560 KVOK. All right. Darren, you ate up a whole lot of time here. Hotline, hello.
Hi. You just had a caller on there, Darren Byler, and I'd like to comment about what he was talking about, if that's possible.
Who are you?
My name is Lori Nicely.
Okay. Go ahead. Go for it.
Oh, okay. Well, so I just want to reiterate that what he's saying is truth. And the city of Kodiak, they're just underhanded. So we entered into an agreement to purchase that boat from him, and that agreement fell through, but the boat was still in our name. So I called the city, and they said, "Oh yeah, come and get the boat," because Darren ran it up on the ground, turned around and walked away, and we haven't seen or heard from him since.
Mm-hmm.
So for 3 years, they strung us along. We even made a trip to Kodiak to make sure everything was good. And then COVID hit, and then they kept telling us, "No, you can't come get it yet. You can't come get it yet." And then they said, "Oh, well, we're sinking it." And this is after 3 years of doing this, and they lied to us over and over and over about where Darren Byler even was or what was going on with him.
I mean, he was in contact with us all the time back then. He was calling almost every day, so he couldn't have been that hard to get a hold of.
Exactly.
So you in your group or your family was trying to buy this boat or had an agreement to buy the boat, and I heard this story. And then the city said, "Well, we're gonna never mind. You don't get to buy it. We're gonna sink the boat."
Yeah, after 3 years of telling us we could come and get the boat, we could, and the story changed over and over and over again. But they strung us along for 3 years, and then when it got down to it, when we were ready to come and get the boat, they said, "Oh no, we're sinking it. You can't come and get it."
Yeah, I never understood this part. Why? I don't understand the urgency. There's a lot of derelict boats in Dog Bay. Trust.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I don't know the urgency to sink this one.
Yeah, I don't either.
But there was.
Shame. And I think that when Darren's done with his lawsuit, there's a good possibility that we'll put ours in, because that cost us a lot of money. And what they did was just wrong, and they really need to be held accountable.
Well, the city is not very good at lawsuits. I will say that. Since I've lived here 13 years, they're terrible at it. They just need to cut their losses and pay the people that are filing lawsuits against them on this, and then move on. I don't think Darren will take money for it. I think he really wants to stay in court, and good for him. He gets to avail himself of the justice system. But would you be willing to take a settlement from the city?
Yeah, I'd take a settlement. I mean, it isn't going to make it go away. I mean, I'm still sad over it. But,
well, I appreciate the call, and I hope you get it all rectified.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll see you later. 486-6011-800-560 KVOK. Look, we got a whole bunch of stuff to get to. I can't spend a whole nother day on the Wild Alaskan. But there it is, and we give the platform. I don't know why the Mirror doesn't cover it. There's a lot of story here, but there's also a lot of circumstantial. And then that's a lot of reason why newspapers, that's what you get to the bottom of it for.
Yeah.
You got to go do your digging.
Investigative journalism.
Yeah, it's not checkbook journalism. That part I know is true.
Yeah.
That's a term I learned yesterday. Checkbook journalism. Hotline, hello.
Hello there.
How are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good.
What can we do for you today?
Hey, I'm just calling in to give Darren a little support with his sinking of the Wild Alaskan and all this COVID fraud that we've been dealing with here. I swear to God, you guys just don't get it. This city's so sleepy, it just blows me away. As far as I'm concerned, you got 3 law enforcement agencies here that everybody's above board. If this is actually true, and I believe that his documentation is true, since it is their own documents, that not one officer, not one law enforcement officer is willing to cross the thin blue line and come and tell the truth and actually stand up for the oath that you took to serve and protect the citizens of this town. That's all I got to say.
I appreciate the call. Yeah.
All righty.
We'll see you later. I think the city's got to do something about this. They can't just say it's going to go away. It's not. It's not going to go away. We've been talking about it for 10 years. And it's not going anywhere. So you're going to have to confront it.